Welcome in. This is 300 Yards to Unknown. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there is Eric Patterson. Pat, happy Valspar week. Hey, buddy.
How's it going? Yeah, Valspar. I'm doing well, We're in this weird lull in the schedule between the Masters and the PGA Championship. I don't know if you feel it, but I think I'm feeling it a little bit. It's we're inching closer to the PGA and then kind of kick it into the summer months that I'm excited about. Right now, yeah, Valspar is what it is. We'll get there.
Wells Fargo next week, a new event the week
nice.
after that. I think it's Palmetto at Congaree is the name we're going with for that. And then PGA Championship. And then, the summer is kind of crazy as usual. We're going to get some big time events. There's an Olympics thrown in there as well. So, a lull is probably the proper way to describe this.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and complain about, the gig that is watching and talking golf all the time, but it's a bit of a grind. It wears on you. And weeks like these, like last week was a nice change of pace. The Valspar is nice, solid field, but no complaints. We're having fun.
Did you see what Taylor Gooch did on Twitter about 20 minutes ago?
I did. I don't know what I think about it because he was gonna refund. So if you want to lay it out, I have an issue with it a little bit.
From what I understand, I'm trying to get to the genesis of this. It looks like someone tweeted at him after with like a shot tracker and was like, "Oh, 3 straight bogeys or 4 straight bogeys or whatever. Like, you stink," essentially, which is pretty much the lowest of low interaction you could have with a professional golfer, but that's what started this. And then basically he was like, okay, like, did you bet on me? Like, is that what the problem is here? Did you bet on me? He's like, I didn't bet on you, which again, now this interaction is even worse.
Yeah.
Because this is like zero whatsoever. So he's like, I didn't bet on you, but I'll take $8 for some Chipotle tonight. And then actually someone who, I know he follows me, and I think he's actually been in my one and done. Like, I recognize the name. Sent Taylor Gooch screenshots of actual bets that he made on him, and it was like, okay, a $50, I don't know, matchup or whatever against Lonto Griffin, and a couple of other things. And legit, Taylor Gooch Venmos this guy $50, and we've got the screenshot to confirm it.
Why is Gooch giving people money back for bets? This is a slippery slope and a terrible idea, and rewards behavior that is calling people like this. The lowest of lows in this space that we are in is people who tweet at pros saying, "You suck, you cost me my money." Like, that's the scummiest. Like, I can't stand those people, and no tour pro should interact with them ever.
I lost $3 in my DraftKings lineup because you missed the cut. I hate you. Let me tweet at you. Is the worst person out there.
And Gooch is rewarding that behavior by giving them money back. Like, I mean, maybe the guy he sent this money to didn't say, you suck, but still, giving money back out to fans is maybe he's going after the PIP. It's a small investment into the larger game that is the PIP.
Give up 50 to earn 8 mil. Yeah. So I think, the guy who I have seen his name before and who ended up getting the money kind of swooped in on this after he had this back and forth with someone else. And he was like, "Oh, you want to Venmo someone that bet on you? Like, here's my tickets." And Gooch did, which this should not be happening. I'm sure the tour would hate this. But this is such a slippery slope. Now all this asks for is people to send screenshots of Taylor Gooch losing bets to him with their Venmo, hoping he pays out.
Yeah, and as the tour gets, you could see a scenario where the tour comes knocking on Gooch's door and saying, "Let's not do this. We're getting into bed with sports betting. We're not going to encourage people to bet on you, and then you get refunded." That's really not how. I don't think that's how they want their players interacting with sports bettors, but. I guess Gooch now has a $50,000 mini putt contest going on with someone else. So that's actually what the original back and forth was about. So that'd be fun to watch. Gooch with 50K on the line against some Twitter troll. That's not bad.
Yeah, which he would absolutely win. I doubt this Twitter troll has 50K to put up in a putting contest against Taylor Gooch, and if he does, I don't know how he has it, because that would be a pretty stupid thing to do. If I had an extra 50K laying around, I wouldn't be challenging professional golfers in putting contests, no matter how poor they are at putting, right? Like I would not putt against Benny On in a putting contest. If I had 50K.
Or he has so much money, he knows he can just burn it. But then again, like if you have all this money, you wouldn't be the one complaining about someone costing you a bet. So
Right.
yeah, I doubt he has 50 grand, and definitely probably not good enough to beat a professional golfer in any sort of golfing competition.
It is interesting though that okay, so let's assume you got yourself into a $50,000 putting match with Taylor Gooch, whether it was your money or not, but you got to set the rules. What would you set the rules to give yourself the best chance at this?
Just on like a course, or are we going to a mini?
No, it's a putting. Well, you set the rules.
I think I would scope out my local mini golf course and study it like every day. I'd play endless amounts of rounds, and that's the only way I'd have an advantage, is by knowing exactly where and how to hit every putt. But that's the only chance I would have. I would never take them to a real green with and just line up a bunch of 10-footers. I'd get dusted.
I would set up one 10-foot putt. Hope he misses it. Hope I make it. Right? Like just you want to embrace all the variants, right? He's probably 40% to make that. You're probably not that much worse. Like
I might go shorter. I might go 6-7 feet, maybe a little. I don't know. Yeah,
8 feet's a 50-50 shot, right? On tour, 8 feet's 50-50.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the mark.
Yeah, maybe 10 is a good range. I'm probably 10% from 10 feet.
Yeah, but that's better than you guys each take 58 footers. He's gonna destroy you. He's gonna destroy me.
And if I'm setting the rules, I'm definitely sitting there for an hour before and hitting all the putts, and then call Gooch in from the sideline, and then go one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure. The I had something else about this. There's a really interesting article, or I guess theory, about how amateurs should practice golf. And they should practice the things that obviously give there's investment in time. Your investment in time is better doing certain things than others. So there's a theory that amateur golfers should only be practicing putts that are 6 feet and in, and 25 feet and longer. Because
speed, and then those power putts or bogey putts. Yeah.
Because in between that, from 18 feet, you and the amateurs and pros are basically getting down in two, most of the time. That's for everybody. So where they're better than you is 7 feet and in, and then we 3-putt more from 25 feet and out. They make 2 putts from there. So if you were only ever going to practice certain types of putts, those should be the putts that you should practice.
I mean, people probably don't even practice putting enough. They just grab the driver and go to the range. So that's
also true.
Issue number one is figuring out where to practice. But yeah, that's interesting. Now I'm going to start thinking about rolling some more 25 footers.
Right. Most people go and just, I'm guilty of it too. I go over there, 15 footers. I putt those all day long because hey, I might make this. I
might have one of these for birdie today. So yeah, I need to work on it. Whereas, you should be practicing on not the 3-putt, but
correct.
What fun is that?
Yeah, no. Well, hey, okay. The golf Twitter was a Twitter this week with lots of different things. I think maybe the first one that we should get into is the announcement, or I guess it wasn't really an announcement. It was kind of confirmed to a source that Ricky Fowler is going to receive a special exemption into the PGA Championship, EPAT. And the reason that he needs that is because he is not qualified for this event, nor is he qualified for the US Open. He is in for the Open Championship, but with a current world golf ranking of 111 in the world, and not playing this week, not playing Valspar, there's essentially no chance for him to have qualified for the PGA Championship without them giving him a special invite.
Yeah, and he's only eligible for being inside the top 100 because he played on the 2018 Ryder Cup team as well.
Correct.
So they also gave out the invite to John Catlin, who's winning at an insane clip on the European tour.
Well deserved.
And he's like 80th or he's top 90 in the world. So he's ahead of Fowler. So no issue there. And I truthfully don't know if I have an issue with them giving it to Fowler. I want to get your take, but I'm kind of on the fence.
I mostly don't care. And I rarely care. Like when Tony Romo takes a sponsor's exemption on the Corn Ferry, listen, there are sponsors exemptions for a reason. You can do whatever you want. They're going to give it to somebody. If they want to get more eyeballs, that's fine. If you want to give a PGA Championship exemption to a popular golfer, that's fine. I don't really care. The only thing I have an issue with is that the PGA Championship hangs their hat on this being like the strongest field in golf, like that thing, which annoys me because now it's like, well, you're handing out exemptions to guys that are not like, it's not only that he's 111th in the world, it's like end dropping, right? It would be different if John Catlin, well, like these are two guys who are going in completely opposite directions. I just don't think you can tout the whole, this is the strongest field in golf and give Ricky Fowler an exemption.
Yeah, I understand why they're doing it. He's clearly popular, and if he's on TV, people would recognize him. And I also think, like, how many people say they just tune in May, watch the PGA Championship, they see Fowler on the screen, and they don't even think twice about his world golf ranking.
No, you could ask, hey, what's Ricky? And first of all, most people probably don't even know there are official world golf rankings. If you said, what's Ricky Fowler's official world golf ranking? People would be like, I don't know, 15, like just because he's popular.
Yeah, no. And so the difference between if he was 99th versus 111th, I don't even, is he taking someone else's spot? Maybe that's something I should have done research. It's not like he's knocking someone out. They just added him to the field. So it's like, well, what is 10 spots when 99, not 90, like 75% of the people watching don't really even care about official world golf rankings to begin with. It's one guy.
He has to be taking someone's spot, right? Because it's not like they're expanding the field to 157 or whatever to get Ricky Fowler in. It's going to be 156, and they're going to, but they were going to use that for somebody. So somebody was going to be in the field. It just happens that Ricky Fowler is that somebody. So in theory, yes, he's taking someone's spot, but it's not like it's not like he's taking a spot of someone else who qualified, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not taking like if you qualified, you're in. He's just using the invite for someone else, and it happens to be one of the most popular players on tour. I get why people would be rattled about it. It doesn't really bother me that much. It's one guy, and he's not like 500th in the world. He's not completely fallen off a map. He is dropping, but he's still one top 120, which, I mean, 156 guys in the field. It seems like a nothing thing for me. Maybe I'm alone and not like, it's a major championship. You got to hold the integrity of a major. But again, one guy. It's not like they're opening the floodgates to 10, 15 guys who just aren't deserving of it at all.
Should he take it?
I think he's going to take it.
I know he's going to take it, but should he take it?
I mean, what kind of moral high ground is he going to say, "Whoa, I don't deserve this. I'm not good enough to play." Like, yeah. I don't think exactly. Puma wants that. I don't think all the logos all over Fowler's attire want him to sit this one out. So I don't think he's going to pass. I think he's going to take it. I think he should take it. I mean,
okay, he should take it.
Pip dollars, baby. Pip dollars. He needs to pay paycheck somehow.
I would take it. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely take it. Didn't Phil say he would not accept a US Open special invite remember when he was like not qualified? Was it Winged Foot? I'm getting my years all messed up now because the schedule's been all screwed up.
Yeah,
remember when was it Winged Foot?
It was Winged Foot. It was going to be for the 2021 in June. He was asked I actually wrote this up yesterday. Bob Herrig talked to him. So yeah, last February, Phil said, I would not take it. I got to earn it. I got to qualify. If I'm not good enough to play in it, I won't play in it. And yesterday he came out and said he just doesn't know yet. He hasn't really decided if he would accept a special exemption into the US Open, which I don't want to sit here and compare Mickelson to Ricky Fowler, but I think Phil's more than deserving to receive a special exemption into a US Open.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
And Ricky Fowler is more than deserving to get an exemption into the PGA Championship. Maybe not based on his current acumen, but like his career body of work, he is more than deserving. And if I were him, I would certainly take it. Did Phil take the one for Winged Foot? Did he play? Yeah, he did. He missed the cut.
Well, he played because they didn't do the qualifying. Like I think they just locked in like the year before qualifying or something, and just it was a lot more guaranteed spots. But like people who are rattled about Fowler getting it are also probably the same people who were super pumped when he came onto the scene, and they created him, they turned him into this mega like marketable golfer, like America's next big thing. The young kid from California with the long hair, like they were probably the same people who were getting all excited about him that made him so popular to begin with, and now they're rattled that his popularity is getting him into PGA Championships. It's kind of I don't know, kind of hypocritical in a way.
It's like they've built so I was going to call him Frankenstein, but the monster's name is not Frankenstein. The doctor who created the monster is Dr. Frankenstein. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So just so people didn't think that I was an uncultured swine. I understand that the monster is not named Frankenstein, but essentially,
I mean, you probably could have said that and got it past me without. I wouldn't have given it much thought, but I'll pretend to know I knew exactly what you were talking about.
So they've created the Ricky Fowler monster, and now they have to live with the consequences of his popularity.
I think so. And I think, maybe the tour and now we're dragging it on a little too long for what Fowler actually is. But at some point he was claimed to be one of like the best players in the world. And he proved that he was for a while. He was inside the top 10 for top 20 for so long.
For sure.
So it's, again, I don't care. He'll be there. If he makes the cut, great. If he doesn't, it's
final thing then, because you're going where I'm going here. Would there be outrage if he won?
Oh God.
I mean, it would obviously be well deserved, right? You don't backdoor yourself into a major championship, but there would be people who'd be like, he shouldn't even be in the field.
I mean, if someone shouldn't be in, if someone wins and they also shouldn't be in the field, I think I think they're deserving to be in the field if they can go and win the tournament. I mean, if Tony Romo started banking a bunch of Korn Ferry Tour events, we'd be like, all right, this guy's really good at golf. Let's let him stay. So maybe one guy would raise their fist in the air. But if Fowler ends up winning on a special invite, that's pretty good.
That's the other thing. Tony Romo is, first of all, amazing at golf, that he shoots like 12 under over 2 days on Korn Ferry. He just gets he just finishes DFL and gets absolutely lapped by the rest of these guys. Like professional golf, those guys are so good.
I know. Yeah, it's even like Steph Curry, same thing. When Steph Curry shot that like low 70s round in his first Korn Ferry Tour event, people were losing their minds because he was beating legit pros, and then I think he fell off a cliff. But it is impressive how even the guys coming last, they're really good.
Yeah, you shoot 76 in 2 rounds on the Korn Ferry. You finish dead last, and like you have my ultimate respect. That is so good.
Exactly.
Also having my ultimate respect, the European Tour, social media, PR, whatever you want to call this machine that pumps out the best content ever, from Rory and JT trying to make aces, to the angry golfers thing, to whatever else. They constantly do it. And this week they had Marcus Armitage. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, this is great that you're saying this name. I forget when you tried to say this on a podcast, and I was dying laughing at you trying to pronounce Armitage.
I did?
Armitage. Yeah, he's come up before. Yeah. You were calling him like, up before? Yeah, I don't know what podcast it was or who you were talking to, but you were struggling with Armitage, and it was like Armitage, Armitagi.
Armitage. What, say it again?
Armitage. Or
Armitage.
I'm 99% certain. Anyways, I just
So sometimes in live chats, someone will be like, "Hey, what do you know about so and so?" And I'm like, "Nothing." Like it's always some like random European guy, and I'm like, 0. So that's probably.
But it was funny because it was like you knew he was a Euro Tour guy, so you tried to throw a little European Tour flair onto his name when it's pretty English.
There you go. He goes out and tries to. This is the Guinness World Record that he tried to break, was landing a golf ball in a speeding car, which I don't know about you, Pat. Sounds a little made up to me. But this exists, and they So he literally he has a driver, and as like a car driver, like a racer, and this guy speeds along as he's hitting the shot, and they have to try to catch the ball inside this convertible. Am I describing that accurately?
Yeah, it's a great description, and also, yeah, completely made up world record. This is not one that you can just go out and do or try. I don't know. That's a strange one, but I mean, European Tour has done these like world record things before, like the fastest hole by like 4 guys. Like they come out with some really, really good stuff, and this one was fun to watch. I'm more impressed by the driver myself than than Armitage hitting it, because this guy's like, I don't know how fast he gets going, but he's cooking, and he's like looking up and like trying to like gauge where the ball is going to be, and he's like turning, trying to catch it. So it's takes some serious skill to drive that car like that. But
very early on, one of the first attempts, they like basically almost get it. I don't know if it was one of the early attempts, but the previous record was 273 yards. They caught one at 272.
Right. Yeah. He was celebrating. That's when he ripped off his shirt in celebration, and then had to go back to the drawing board and try it again.
That would be a little demoralizing for me to have that happen. They had another one where they were well over the mark, but it has to, like, the car has to catch it. It has to stay in the car, and it hits the dash and bounces out, which is also like, that's tough too, man. Like you don't control whether the car catches this or not. It just has to kind of rattle around and stay.
Get lucky, yeah. The car was taking a beating. There's some broken windshields. There was some dents on the hood, but yeah, that was European Tour. I mean, I show my wife these videos because I find them just so entertaining. It goes back. There was one. They came up with one where it was like this made up interviewer who was introducing guys on the first tee. I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but they had like Martin Keimer behind the scenes in this guy's earpiece, and they were like, Rafa Cabrera-Bello came up and he goes, "Oh, Rafa loves himself. Tell him to show him his abs, or get him to show you his abs." And Rafa like started flashing his abs. He got Dustin Johnson and Zach Johnson mixed up. So it was like, two-time Masters champion, you won the Open, and DJ's like, "No, I'm Dustin," and like just wasn't having any of it. They've been having some good European Tour content for years now.
It's so good. Okay, why are they so much better at this than the PGA Tour? Or do they take it less seriously, or do they get more buy-in from the players? Or both?
Bit of both, probably. I think like just the camaraderie on the European Tour is probably better. Like I feel like they're more friends. Like you wouldn't be able to get that Angry Golfers video. I don't think you'd be able to get like Bryson, Brooks, DJ all in a room together to do that. They'd be like, go away. I don't have time for this shit.
It also seemed like it lasted hours. Like, I don't know if you could get the guys. Takes. There were so many takes. Like when they released the behind the scenes stuff, I was like, how are they ever going to get this done? And yeah, I don't think you could get 4 or 5 PGA pros to sit there for however many hours it is and do this, or they'd all have to be like the TaylorMade guys. Like it
would have to be like
the caveat.
It would have to be by the brand. I don't think the tour could get it. So it's kudos to the European Tour for getting these guys together. But yeah, the Angry Golfers one's great. They even had they had one about their content team. I just think the European Tour guys are just way more laid back when it comes to this stuff. And I don't know, Fleetwood's so good, Stenson, Matt Wallace, Pepperell's, and all of these too. Just a good group of them.
500 shots to make a hole-in-one with Eduardo Molinari.
Those ones are excruciating. Like almost feel so bad for those guys.
The original one was Rory versus the Robot. That's 7 years old at this point, where he's at the driving range and there's those washing machines and all that stuff. That's a great one.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I gotta go look it up.
I'll send you the link. Yeah, it's like the most popular one on the European Tour YouTube channel. They do a lot of like and they also got some of the guys, they got like Hovland involved when he was there Hovland went against Beef in like where you have to like draw out of a hat what club to use. And Hovland's like 120 yards away in the thick rough. And it's like 3-iron. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
Let's see. That's just such a fun mixture. Like Beef is kind of, I don't even know what he's up to these days, but a character that people know and that the European Tour is pumped up. And then Hovland, he seems pretty laid back. I think he'd be good at these, obviously. European, so that goes into what we were saying earlier. But yeah, Beef and Hovland one's funny.
Yeah, these are good. I'm just kind of scrolling through them. Yeah, you mentioned the fastest club. They do a lot of one club challenge and stuff.
It's just
They
like,
prank guys.
I mean, this could be a segue into our next topic, but I think those types of videos do such a good job of, I guess you could call it new age media. You can get to know a player without having to sit down and force them to be in an interview room. And I just think it's a lot more entertaining. It gives you a lot more, I don't know, gives you a little bit, a peek behind the curtains on on their personalities.
I love it. That is a good segue because hold on, let me see if I can find, here it is, the origin of this. So the other thing that Twitter was all upset about this week was the battle of new age media versus the old age media. And this all happened because I guess the US Open at Torrey Pines had their media day where they invite the media out to play the course, take on these challenges, take photos. Hopefully they write good stories about it, right? Have you been part of stuff like this? Maybe not going on site, but like there's these media obligations. They try to get this stuff out there. You write a couple of articles, you talk about it on a podcast, and you move on.
Yeah, I've been to one Mackenzie Tour media day, which is my big claim to fame, but I know what you mean. It's just like, it's just to bring hype around the tournament, awareness around the tournament. And I guess the US Open, like, if you want to lay out the story a bit better, I have a little bit of take on it, but I wouldn't say I'm like on one side or the other.
So Jeff Shackelford has a blog. I have to admit, I don't really know who Jeff Shackelford is. I have to admit that out of the gate, but he has a blog, I believe, or a website.
Yeah, I haven't even found the article that he wrote, to be honest. But
so I have screenshots of it. So essentially, it is an article. I believe the headline of it is "C-listers rejoice, U.S. Open preview day or days," which he essentially says. The people that they invited to the quote unquote media day was a C-lister showcase, and argues that essentially Brian Baumgartner, who plays Kevin on The Office, who headlined it, is kind of like the C-listers, and he calls out people by name like Roger Steele. And let's see who else he calls out by name here. Someone called the Entitled Housewife. That is someone from Instagram. Calls out Golf Digest. Haley Ledbetter. Let's see.
He was on fire. He was,
yeah.
I'm guessing Jeff did. I don't want to sit here and rag on other media members, but I'm guessing Jeff didn't get an invite to the media day.
That is the way that I took it. Without knowing anything else, is that he was upset that he didn't get an invite. That's the only way that I took it. And I could be incredibly wrong about that, but I don't understand what the point of this is.
Probably because we're talking about it. I think that's what a lot of people write stuff, is to ruffle feathers and get attention back on them, when he would have loved to have been at this media day and played the course and hung out with some other, like No Laying Up was there. I know the Fried Egg guys were there. So it's not like it was just a bunch of people on Instagram. There's definitely golf media, new age media, I would say, that were there, who learned a thing or two about the course, showed the course off, raised awareness for the tournament. So I'm definitely on the new media side to this. I don't think there's a part in Jeff's article where he talked about like what it used to be, what media days used to be. And if you want to, I don't know if you have it there. I wish I pulled it up, but he talked
do you have an idea?
He talked about how like the traditional media day was, you learn about the course, you learn about the defending champion, you learn about, what the fan experience is going to be like for the new tournament, or the upcoming tournament. And I mean, Torrey Pines, everyone and their grandma knows what Torrey Pines is all about. We go there every year. Bryson DeChambeau is the most talked about golfer in golf. So we know about the defending champion. And I mean, these people are also there to show off what the experience is like to go to a golf tournament. So his premise that like, this is what the old media days were like, sounds extremely boring to me. Maybe I'm not like a diehard golf guy, but I don't need a breakdown of 18 holes at Torrey Pines.
Why is so much of golf in general, and the media as well, just like, let's do it the way we've always done it? That's what works. Like I don't need to go find out about the defending champion or about Torrey Pines or anything like that. They be trying to create buzz about the event, do fun things, get people talking about it, and essentially sell tickets like that. Isn't that the goal for all of this? Like,
definitely is to sell tickets, show off. I mean, Torrey's one of the nicest pieces of property that these guys visit. So yeah, it just seemed like, it seemed like a giant, I'm jealous, I'm very envious of all these people who are out there piece, and he's almost like getting forgotten about, which at the same time, I think old and new media, like I'm sure there are people out there who want to read about the course. So write your article and you have your audience. Like you can't just force people into reading or watching content that you think they should like. People are going to go find out and seek out the content they want to consume. And a lot of these people on Instagram is where people are consuming their content. So Shackelford, he chirped that Roger Steele guy's Twitter following, which is like 850 people or something. But I went to his Instagram, and this guy has like thousands and thousands of Instagram followers. And it's everything he posts about is golf and making golf cool. And he's out there like he's got incredible swings. So like he obviously knows how to play. He's not just some dude who has a bunch of followers. So he's trying to like change the direction golf's going, which I'm all for. So Shackelford just kind of barking up the wrong tree.
Imagine that, making golf more appealing to younger people. Wow. What terrible thing.
It's like there's this old generation of golf media members. They just want golf and golf fans to like kind of die off as they all retire and move on. So it's just like, who's going to cover the game in the future? And this is the way people consume news and content these days. So it's just the way the world is. And if you don't adapt, you're going to get left in the dust. So I think he's just very kind of bitter.
Well, I've given him enough of a free advertisement for Jeff Shackelford, so I guess it works. Congratulations. Anything else before we get out of here? Michael Visacki Monday qualified. That was
a cool story.
Yeah.
Visacki. Yeah, that's Monday Q info. I think everyone probably follows him, but he does say like this happens almost every week. Like there's a story of something like this where a guy's either Monday qualifying into the PGA Tour or cracking onto the Korn Ferry Tour for the first time ever. So like this isn't just a one-off, and obviously it helps when the camera's there to capture a cool moment, like calling your dad or making that putt. But it happens way more frequently than we might think, and we typically just see these guys who Monday qualify and kind of just cross them off a list, say whatever. But there are stories to be told out there, so that was really cool.
He's won like, I don't want to get the number wrong, but I want to say like 45 times on these like mini tour events. It might be more than that. But like he is a mini tour grinder. When I first saw him qualify, I was like, dude, this is last year at this time when we had no golf, but these mini tours were firing up. Michael Visacki was like 10-1, 8-1 on these one-day West Florida golf tours. He's the all-time money earnings leader on that tour, 141,000 in mini tour earnings, which is like these guys play wild. He wins like $2,000 if he wins a tournament. So that's a lot of dubs. It's a lot of dubs.
Like do you remember when we were tracking those odds? Like Jazz Janawadanan was playing, and like a bunch of like
there was another guy who came over. Callum,
was it him or Shinklin? There was a Scottish guy. Yeah, there was a Scottish guy who goes out there, but like Daniel Chopra was out there. So it's just funny how almost like a year later, the guy we were sweating because he was such a stud. Now he's just cracking into PGA Tour events. But
I don't think he's going to make the cut, but he played well. Let me see here.
I had this in my not to pump my own bags here, but I had this in my newsletter, just like how different. So did you hear DJ's comments about his trophies?
No.
Oh, so they asked DJ. They asked him about the Valspar trophies. Like, that's pretty nice. And they asked him where he keeps all his trophies. He goes, they're in a box at home. Like, so there you got, on one hand, you got number one player in the world, DJ, can't even be bothered to take his trophies and display however many wins he has, 20 wins, doesn't even care, whatever, $1 million here, $1 million there, doesn't matter. And then you got Visacki, who is like grinding 7 years to get one start on the PGA Tour. He cries when he makes a putt on a Monday, like just the polar opposite ends of professional golf, I would say, in one tournament. And
yeah, they could not be
competing at the same time. I don't really know how many other sports you can get the number one player in the world and then a guy who's like grinding for 7-8 years to crack one game, like competing in the same game. I don't know.
No other sports.
The rare
doesn't
occurrence.
exist. He shot a 74 3 over par on Thursday. He has played 3 holes on Friday. As we record this, he is even par. The cut line probably going to be 1 under. So he's got some work to do if he's going to make the cut, but so far so good. He's been steady. He's been just fine. Probably nervous beyond belief. Okay. EPAT. Much appreciated as usual. We can find your work on the score. We can find your quick 9. I'll link that in the description as well. Anything else on the way out?
Got nothing for you, Rick. I think we covered it. We did a good job there covering it all.
Boom. There we go. Gave ourselves an A+. We did a great job covering it. I love it.
On the back.
All right. Follow Eric on Twitter at ePackOff. You can follow me at RickRunGood. This has been 300 yards to unknown, and we will catch you next time.